Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, it's Monday. Monday we're at the top of the workshop looking at the top performing map of the moment. Unfortunately that one is illegible, so we're looking at the second top performing map of the moment. But this one is the one that is performing really well on the item charts. See, this one actually made the chart show. Now maps must be getting better, or everything else getting worse, because we're seeing maps regularly squeezing into that top 20, and it's not always the big name creators as well. What we have here is a lesser known creator on their fourth map that we've reviewed on the show. There might be, I've not even checked their records, but it might be their fourth map. There may be another one tucked away somewhere. But yeah, a lesser known creator with maps that are performing so well is one of the best things on the workshop. True. Second best thing on the workshop would be BonBonBingo if there were BonBonBingo cards there. Link is in the description. And the one thing that is definitely the best thing in the world is a daily reminder. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Rivers and Waves, vanilla map, optimized for fishing by AvoirRev. Right, okay, all the information is there. Waves though, okay, and definitely optimized for fishing. All right, we'll check that one out. There's your start square. We've got rivers and there's probably waves. I'm waving right now. Terrain heights, definitely very buildable. It encourages you to build a big city along the coastline there and a little bit up into the hills. Strong resources in the places that you want strong resources, so that's a winner as well. And if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it's optimised for fishing, although I would debate whether you'd actually have tuna in the lagoon. What do I know about fish? Very little. Anyway, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's 100% vanilla, although we are using a custom theme, custom LUT, and some relight settings as well. So amongst all the things you'll want, if you want the exact aesthetics that we've got here, Theme Mixer 2, Generic Temperate 4K, Lavianti 2.0, Revi 4K, and so on. You can see them. You can see them there. I'm not going to read them all out. Realistic 1.2 is there for those of you with the BonBonBingo cards. Yes, we are using it, of course, as well. Alright, and down to ground level. So this is one of those maps that if this is the sort of map that you're looking for and you're looking at something on the screen now that you go, I like this, then it's a map for you. That's not going to let you down. It's a perfectly good, strong map that the aesthetics for me don't work. For me, it's a personal thing. I'm not going to hold it against AvoirRev at all. I just don't. I mean, we spent a lot of time getting the theme and LUT combo and the colours and the light settings right, and there's some specific settings in place, and I can't fault them. It's just that I don't like them personally, but I can see that other people might. It's one of those really tricky, awkward positions that I'm in, that I don't like what I'm seeing, but if I squint, I love what I'm seeing. so that's where we are with this one. That's where I stand on this one. AvoirRev we have done a couple of times on the show before, 3 times on the show before. Episode 1250 where they got 10 stars, episode 1266 where they got 11 stars, and episode 1270 which we're not going to talk about because it wasn't a high scoring map. So let's talk about the good stuff. 10s and 11s, and this for me is a 10/11 star map as well. That said, I think judging by how well it's doing on the workshop, it's going to be a 22-star map. I know we don't go up that high, but how many maps do get into that top 20? Well, not that many. So they've got to be good ones. Certainly got to be popular ones and well-loved ones as well when they do. So I'm probably going to be hated for not loving this, but it's just a personal thing. There you go. That's your start square intersection. That's neatly detailed. Again, not to my personal taste here. Yeah, we've got the trees around the outside. Some are going to have to be demolished, and you're going to want a bit of a clearing for building. But it's fine. It's fine work. I've got a couple of talking points like with that bridge for the second half of the show. There are a couple of talking points and one technical problem, one debatable problem. It's a technical problem, but I think you can find an argument for it. There's second entry into the start square right there, and that leads up to a little roundabout up there as well. So yes, we've got basically one definite error, one debatable error, one definite error which is actually probably arguable, and then you've got this. And this for me is the weirdest thing on the map. Now, I know when you're not using mass transit or custom roads, you can't do national one lane each direction roads. There are ways of making it work. For me, this really doesn't work. There's a big distance between them, and I think if you're going to do that why not just use the 3-lane highway? I understand what Rev's tried to achieve here, but for me, this doesn't work. That said, it's well away from the start square, and most people aren't even going to see it. Tiny little bit of glitching with the highway glitching in and out. That happens sometimes, and nobody gets marked down for it. Not these days anyway, not since I've realised that it can't be helped. And that is the interval.
Fed up with vanilla or ploppable parking lots in your city? Wondering what Bonnie Day's Parking Lots Roads is all about? Then you need BonBonB's Parking Lots tutorial. Click the information button below.
And so back to the shipping routes, rivers and waves, vanilla map, optimised for fishing by AvoirRev. And wait for it, we've got a perfect shipping triangle right there. Perfect one, goes up to a dead end up there. But then, and I'm not sure, it looks like this doesn't actually intersect, but we have a crossroads here. Which, if it doesn't intersect, you're going to have ships ghosting through each other in the deep fog. And if it does, you may have right-angle shipping. But what can we do? Water flow is fine. This river is okay, but you have the bulk of your water flow going through the lagoon, and that is in the start square as well. So that is good to go as well. Right, okay, out into the sea. Boom, there's your poop, all gone. Right, the map as a whole. I like the design of it. I like the shape of it. I like the hills. I like even though we're 100% vanilla trees, I like the trees. It's not the most finessed tree painting we've ever seen, but I like them. I think it works on the map. We've even got half decent beaches as well. I say half decent beaches, more than half decent beaches. These beaches will do. Okay, they look like beaches. Fine. We've got this rocky headland over here as well, which is really... Don't know what you'd be doing over here. Maybe, obviously, an essential lighthouse could possibly be used down here. Maybe. But yes, the old cliff areas and the rocky areas, it's going to make for a good backdrop over there anyway. I really like that. Then we have the rivers, and the rivers, I'm going to say, are good as well. They tick my boxes quite neatly. This one comes down through the ravine here, and I would say this works quite neatly as well. There's credit to be given, even if the aesthetics don't really tickle my fancy today. But there we are. That's good work. And then we pull over this side. We've got these hills that you can build up and into. The further you get inland, a little bit like my last map, the further you get inland, the more undulated it is. And then it drops down to like a smoother hills like there, and then down to this area here where it becomes pretty flat. So again, Avoir has basically provided us with somewhere that we can actually build a fairly easy vanilla style city, which is what you want on the vanilla map, I would suggest. Now we have got some talking points on today's map, so let's start with this bridge. Now, I know I've been pulled up on this one, especially actually in my Perfect Bridges tutorial. Made a bridge exactly like this, okay? And, well, honestly, you don't want that in the middle. You want the pillars on either side and suspension running across it, or even a bridge that size. You could just have it elevated and it'd be fine. It would look perfectly good. But there we go. So that's your talking point there. Then if you want the actual technical error, we have no trees under the roads apart from here. You missed one, Rev. Well, you missed about 5. But, yeah, just that little patch of trees there. Oopsie. And then we've been looking at rivers, but are there any waves? Well, yes, I found one, and I would call this an error apart from, well, it's in the title of the map. So there you go. We've got a bit of flooding going on there. It's a perma wave going on and almost making it across to break through the lagoon. It doesn't look like it's meant to be, so I'm going to call that a mistake. But it's also a wave, so arguable. And I like this little area here. A little bit of water glitching and a few, obviously, the vanilla trees, part of the prop there, or part of the building there it is. Yeah, which are drowned. Not much you can do about those apart from not use the asset itself. Anyway, speaking of 100% vanilla trees, guess what we got in the start square? Not vanilla trees. These are, of course, work of the much-loved MrMaison. It's the Serviceberry tree set. These are lovely. Going to be great for detailing your city. I'd never heard of a Serviceberry, so let's do factoids because factoids on Serviceberries. They're deciduous plants which bear simple, alternately arranged leaves. The flowers are usually white with 5 petals. Terminal clusters can contain up to 20 flowers. The fruits are reddish to purple-black poms, resembling tiny apples, and are eaten by birds and other wildlife. Doesn't say whether they're edible by us people. I don't know. Maybe MrMaison, if you're watching this one, let us know. Serviceberry tree set by MrMaison. Caught me out. I ran out of time. Darn it. Anyway, what do you think of the map? Forget about the trees. Well, don't forget, subscribe to them. But what do you think about the map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of your screen, or the link in the description that takes you to the voting page, where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple, or a Patreon account. But what do I think of today's map? Well, okay, I've said it. The aesthetics do nothing for me. It might as well, in my eyes, have been left 100% vanilla. That's how I feel about the aesthetics on the map. I don't hate it, but I really don't like it. But I like the overall design of the map, and I like what Rev has tried to do. So I'm going to say 3 stars. I'm going to push it up to the top end of 3. I know there's going to be people there screaming at me, no, this is a beautiful 4-star map or a 5-star. I know there will be, but for me, it's not. So I'm going to go for a high end of 3. I'm going to give some credit. Detailing, there's not really much wrong with it. What there is pretty good. I think, being that I've been stingy on the aesthetics, let's push it into 4 stars just for detailing. There's just not enough to scream about, really. But it's good. Gameplay potential looks pretty playable to me. Does not attract me personally, but I think we've got to go 4 stars for this one. I'm going to go medium low 4 because the appeal is a big part of it. Rivers and waves anyway. Vanilla map, optimised for fishing by AvoirRev. It's a perfectly good map, and I can see why so many people have been taken by it. Because it's vanilla and it looks good. It's Movember. I've updated the graphics. And so, yeah, AvoirRev. Honestly, mate, that's a very, very nice effort. I did like it. If you're still here, use the word of the day into the comments, score yourself some population points. Just for fun, to prove you're part of the 20 and out elite. And make sure you've watched my tutorial from last night. Have you seen it yet?